something just came to my mind while you were talking about the example with cars. So just going off on a tangent here.
Hey man, talk about it. That's why we're here. Hey guys, so I have the long conversation, or the full version of my conversation with Nafis, and it's 47 minutes, so I said let me try and take some snapshots of it to like make shorts of it. I was actually doing that, and then I realized that they were just too many and they were too long to make so many shorts, so I said let me just make a highlights video, and so that's what this is. And as I'm trying to prepare for like how to do all of this, it's just like trying to figure things out as I go, so that's how this happened. But one thing I want to add, because it's come up as like when I was doing some of the reflection on the video that I'm about to release, there's a deeper point I want to get to about like spiritual technology and like why I chose that as like the name for this whole endeavor. And I don't quite have that point yet solidified, but it's like as you like hear all these things that I'm talking about, and as we like go on this journey of how to experience life to a more full extent with technology, I think that there's a point to be made there, and I want to like continue to work towards that. So I don't know, keep that in mind, and I hope you enjoy the highlights here.
Elon Musk said something that I found really interesting. It's like maybe 10 years down the line, it's going to be like people are not going to be able to fathom the fact that you don't have like automotive self-driving cars or self-driving mode, because right like for some if you can recall, like if in all the elevators that we have right now, we push a button and then it goes, right? Before, they used to have people inside, they would just operate, right? The levers and everything. So right now, we don't need that anymore. We have enough trust in that elevator system to know. So yeah, and the perception thing can be brought here as well. But the statistics tells us like how many deaths have occurred because of the elevator, right?
It's like aviation flights too. So.
Yeah, so people have enough trust in that system, and it's more likely to cause more deaths if it was
operated by a human
or operated by a human being. Yeah. So this is what's probably going to happen.
Since we're in
academia right now, we see, and this is how, and this is why you talked about the invasive thing, because everyone's using it to kind of cheat their way through assignments and projects. So the way, like, my view on this is very similar to, how the view was back in the 90s era when the internet was, the internet boom was happening. From what I've read, like people, teachers, academics, they were arguing on the same thing. Kids are just copying out the internet, what they're seeing, and they're just doing using the internet to solve their assignments. But we got past that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like education stopped after the internet boom happened.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the same thing, because ChatGPT and generative AI aren't going anywhere. If they're going to be more and more prevalent.
Of course.
But the way I see it, you need the academia, the education sector needs to improve or evolve,
update
their processes. So no more assignments like write an essay based on this prompt.
Nonsense work just to keep you busy.
Exactly.
So as technology evolved and as machines were built and they were automated and like improved upon, what's happening is humans have kind of decreased in the realm of like expertise, in the sense that humans are no longer considered the golden standard. Humans are now considered the point of failure, if you will.
I mean, the point is like you want to frame a solution like in a way that is like apt, or like that is molded to the nature of the problem. So you don't want to overkill it.
Yeah.
So
use the right tool for the right problem.
Use the right tool for the right problem. So you don't need to like use certain things that are not meant for that. It can be a hammer for everything, but it can be a giant hammer, it can be a small hammer,
or it could be a gold hammer.
Yeah,
or
but the deciding factor here is how you actually prompt, how you frame the problem to the ChatGPT or any other generative AI.
Yeah. So a good analogy then is like it's still a hammer for all, but it's like the hammer has like
Yeah, yeah.
attachments on it that make it more
So
specialized to
the
the
hand is
problem.
still yours, so it's not going to hammer itself. You need to be using it.
Yeah.
So essentially, what you're saying is like currently the pursuit of AI is to like build a perfect human being.
Is it not?
It is.
Okay.
That's like a fancy way of saying we want to create like a human-like intelligence without the errors. Essentially, a perfect human being, right? But we know for a fact that it's our imperfections that leads to the unique, innovative works that humans do. The one thing that I took away from this course, besides the numerous theories, of course, is that the user is most important for any technology. It's the user is of prime importance. And for me, like, whenever like software testing is happening, I know like people are really good testers. You can find really good testers these days.
Yeah.
But
what are they testing for?
what are they testing for? Like testing teams usually have an agenda. So at the end of the day, make the actual users test it without giving them any sort of feedback, and just be like sponges, like learn as much as you can from their feedback. So you need to narrow it down because you have like 1,000 systems that you can use, but at the end, like you're a human being, your time is finite, your mental resource and capacity is finite. So narrow it down to like only things that work well for you, that make sense to you, and without getting overwhelmed, try to make use of what makes sense.
Yeah.
Was to make a point that
Yeah.
people all make technology. It's pretty innovative technology if you think about it objectively, but is it really solving a problem? So the problem here being, I want to be able to charge my phone.
You want to
Like-
have
like-
your phone charged. That's like
No,
you don't even charge
I
it.
want to charge my phone for sure, but I want to do it like less invasively or with less obstruction as possible. Like I want to be moving around while it's charging. I don't want to be restricted by like a wire
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like a dock
Yeah.
or something like that. So
Yeah.
so even if the technology is pretty innovative, like wirelessly charging, even if it's like from a small range, but it's not really solving the bigger problem here. Like it's not really decreasing the restriction as much.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we were talking about the same point about the charging aspect, but I think assuming that your phone stays charged all the time, you don't really care if it's actually charging or not. You just want the power to
For sure,
be there. It sounds like, right, for technology to be applicable, there has to be very little difference between the technology and the human. But also, humans want to have a huge amount of like independence, and they want to be able to, get out of technology as much as possible
I feel
too.
like
So like
that statement is a paradox, isn't it?
It is, exactly.
'Cause, people want independence, but then again, they also want to depend on technology to like do all their stuff, like the mundane stuff. So it's hypocritical, for sure. But I'm gonna sound like a broken record right now. But balance is key. Like you need to understand which systems, which functionality is important to you, and then wind down and then not use anything else. Because again, resources limited, this resource limited, your time limited.
yeah.
So you need to know what to use, when to use, how to use.
Yeah.
As human beings, we have an inherent need to improve, or at the very least, make our lives better, ease our lives. So whatever form that you do, there's this theory called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Once you have the, essential
Right.
things
Yeah,
taken care
survival,
of,
yeah.
you want like abstract stuff, like you want to feel whole, and whatever like inspires. For example, working on stuff that inspires me feeds some inherent need inside me and makes me feel satiated or satisfied.
Yeah.
So
Satiated.
yeah.
Being
So-
all yeah.
So I would say, when we were talking about this off camera, learning how to learn is it's really important. So
Yeah.
this is something that I feel like technology, like ChatGPT, helps us to do, because we can essentially prompt it to explain why it solved something in a way that it did. So knowing, just not brute forcing everything, knowing why you're doing something, even if all the answers are given to you, you need to know why you're doing something. Because at the end of the day, when you are in a situation where time is of the essence, you can't like prompt something, hey ChatGPT, or what do I do in this situation, and you're like,
Yeah.
Even if there are technologies that are going to be available that's going to be helping us all through, like hand holding us
Yeah.
all through our lives, there are going to be times when we're going to be on our own, be it in like while we're camping, we're out in the wilderness with no data, essentially like no internet, no chat GPT. So at one time technology is going to run out and we're going to have to rely on our humane skills,
Yeah.
at the very least empathy. You know,
Yeah.
that the person next to me is feeling sad, I should at least have that knowledge to empathize, not go like, hey, ChatGPT, person next to me is sad, what should I do? I should end with just this part, like try to practice, try to work on the stuff that makes us more humane.
Yeah.
And this is not just the soft skills that you read on the resume guides, like leadership and all these buzzwords. No, truly, like work on innovation, work on talking to people, selling. These stuff require a lot of effort, and trust me, no machine is gonna like completely
Replace
take
it.
over this.
Yeah. Thanks for watching the video. Just remember, balance is key and the user is the most important part. And guess what? You are the user. So I want to hear from you, right? This whole trip is about bringing people together from different backgrounds, getting all of us on the same page with technology, and with technology getting us to a better future. So I hope we can open the conversation, keep this going and build some momentum, and hopefully make a little bit of change along the way that builds into something greater. So So stay tuned for more.